Well, yesterday we talked about an eye-opening ESPN article that called out the Lakers' dysfunction led by Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. One of the moments that is being talked about the most was Pelinka telling the team and special guest Dwayne Johnson about Kobe Bryant meeting the late actor Heath Ledger. Take a listen.
There was one time when Kobe, who I worked with for 18 years, was going back to play Madison Square Garden, and he had just seen The Dark Knight. Obviously, you guys saw that movie. And he's like, hey, hook me up with dinner with Heath Ledger because he got so locked into that role. I want to know how he mentally went there. And so he had dinner with Heath and he talked about how he locks in for a role, and Kobe used some of that in his game.
So the problem with that story is that The Dark Knight was released 6 months after Ledger had passed away. And a source told ESPN that no arrangement was made for Kobe to meet him, and the dinner never happened. So this is quite uncomfortable, to be honest. Shannon, how much does this moment damage Pelinka's credibility?
Skip, there's a saying that says a single lie discovered is enough to create doubt in every truth expressed. This changes absolutely nothing for me because having talked to enough people that's been around this league, that's covered this league, it's universally regarded. Rob Pelinka is a liar. And so he can't damage his reputation any more than what it's already damaged. People so in other words, basically, Skip, by hearing this story, it does cement him that now he gets a star on the Liars Walk of Fame. It's in concrete.
Yep.
So we know. Skip, why? Skip, Kobe Bryant is not a role player. Kobe Bryant is a standalone. Why would Kobe Bryant need to lie about going to hang with Heath Ledger? Does he understand who Kobe is or what Kobe represents?
Yep.
And to make it seem like Kobe's some fanboy, like, well, I want to, come on, Rob Pelinka? Don't you? And you going to sit up there at this conference. Don't you know they got footage? This is going to be able to play back. So now, since they invented the camera phone and video, Skip, everything is documented. You can't.
The Rock posted.
Yes.
So it was one of his people probably taking.
Yeah, but Rock didn't know he told a lie because if Rock was like, hold on. You about to tell this lie? Don't tell that.
I think it was posted about a year ago, so we didn't notice it until now.
Now he going to come out here and do the Skip. At the end of the day, Rob Pelinka's an agent. Agents lie all the time. They lie to their client that says, okay, we got this deal going on. They lie to the team. They lie to teams saying, like, if you don't give him this, he's going over there. That's what he does. But in this situation, you don't have to lie. I mean, because at the end of the day, why do we lie? What do you have to gain from lying? Instead of saying, I was sick, just say, well, I didn't want to attend the event. But you come up with a lie. My grandma used to say this all the time, Skip. You say, boy, the truth, you'll never have to remember the truth. It's the lies you got to keep up with. Rob's told so many, Skip, he doesn't even really know when he's lying. So this changed absolutely nothing for me. It confirms what a lot of people have told me and what I after hearing about him, what I knew to be true all along. He's a, misspeak the truth, or he stretches the truth, or he exaggerates. That's a lie.
Yep. So the most outrageous irony to this whole story is he's lying about his meal ticket. He's lying about his reason for being in the Laker hierarchy because the only reason he's there is he was Kobe's agent for all those years.
Correct.
Right? And he's lying about that guy, his meal ticket, right?
Yes.
And that guy's going to know it's a lie. By the way, just for the record, last night I tried to rack my brain thinking, is there any way that Kobe could have seen one of the daily rushes from the shoot because he's so connected with the Hollywood people? No, it's too out of sequence for that. They said Heath Ledger had only seen one scene that had been shot, which was the opening bank robbery scene. And so that's the only one he'd even seen.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Steve was telling me that before he had passed before they had finished editing the entire movie.
That's correct. Okay.
So if they had to do some they couldn't even do any reshoots because he had already passed. So what they got is what they got.
Yes.
So if there was even a speck of truth to this, wouldn't Pelinka have already done a little media session and said, hey, just for the record, this happened because Kobe saw some raw footage or whatever, right? But he hasn't said a word about it that we know of. Has he said a word to Jeannie Buss?
No.
Okay, so now to the bottom line. The glaringly obvious fix right here, right now is for Jeannie Buss today to fire Rob Pelinka. Because if you're going to have any hope going into free agency, don't you have to remove that blight from the hierarchy?
But Skip, he told that lie years ago. Okay. This is not a new lie.
I know, but it just came out.
I know.
No, it came out from the ESPN story.
Well, Jeannie should be fired because she should have done her homework. How many people you think told her that he was a liar, he was a con?
Have you ever heard one good thing about Rob Pelinka? Not one. I mean, give me one.
Not one.
Except he was Kobe's agent, and he was on that Fab Five team at Michigan. He was like, I don't know what he was, the 6th or 7th man, the 8th man maybe. I don't know.
No, he was the 19th man.
The 19th man. Yeah. I don't know what he was, but he was on that team.
He was on the team.
And he occasionally contributed a little bit. So that's all he's got going that I know of.
Right.
But in his professional dealings, as a representative of the Los Angeles Lakers, have you heard one good thing about him?
No.
Not one good thing. He was not qualified for the job to begin with.
Correct.
And he has only disgraced the organization from jump. Because nobody says anything but don't trust him.
Right.
Correct?
Right. Correct.
And even internally, then we had the story from, again, the ESPN article, the Amari Spellman story, because with the 25th overall pick, all the scouts and the front office people who had done all the homework on Amari Spellman, the Villanova kid, thought that's what they were going to do when it came their turn.
Right.
But they were in one room, according to the ESPN article, and Magic and Pelinka were stationed in another room, and all of a sudden they watch on TV as the Lakers, and it was attributed to Pelinka, picked not him, but Mo Wagner from Michigan.
Right.
Okay? So what, and it was a Michigan guy. That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. That's an interesting connection. So then Pelinka told them that, well, I had a great conversation with Josh Hart, obviously on the Lakers team, who had played with Amari Spellman at Villanova. And Josh, I'll just paraphrase it, had raised some red flags about his character or whatever. And then Josh Hart tweeted about it and indicated that wasn't the truth either. And what was his quote about? There are a lot of snakes in this industry, but I ain't one of them. Okay? I don't know exactly what that means, but it means that's not what he's indicating. He did not throw his former teammate under that bus, right? Okay? So that's an even worse story. And Jeannie Buss today has to say, look, and clearly free agency starts 6 p.m. June 30th.
June 30th, they moved it up.
Okay, we're a little more than a month away, right? Okay. So obviously, there's no way she could replace Rob Pelinka before free agency started, but I wouldn't even care about that because it's okay right now not to have him in that job because you do have Kurt Rambis as the new Magic, the president, right? The overseer.
Skip, you remember just a few weeks ago, a month ago, the question was, who could LeBron lure because of his age, because of his injury history? And you notice, LeBron is an afterthought. Now we're talking about the dysfunctionality in the Lakers organization, and it has nothing to do with LeBron. It's funny how that's changed.
Okay, but it better have a whole lot to do with LeBron. That's why I told you last week.
I don't know if he can overcome this, Skip.
He better step up and take over.
Skip, look, normally if you have one person, you can overcome one. But when you got layers, top, and then middle, and then another middle, and then another middle, you got 4 people you got to hurdle over.
Okay.
How?
All right. So is that not a fireable offense, what we just found out?
Skip.
Yes, it is.
It has to be.
But Skip,
yes.
It would have been a fireable offense if you had done your homework in the beginning. It should have been a non-qualifier. She didn't do her homework. Kobe, that's Kobe. That's your guy? Oh, you want to have a job? Okay, sure, fine. That's it.
Well, I'm sure Kobe recommended. He had to sign off, right?
Skip, all you need to know is that Rob Pelinka was the agent of Carlos Boozer when he was playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the owner at the time was Gordon Gunn, who was blind. And Rob Pelinka, for likes of a better word, shifted him out of the deal.
He did. Correct.
That's all you need to know. Forget talking about you had a meeting with a dead man is one thing, but you take advantage of a man in that situation. Told me everything I needed. Once I found that out, he was done to me. Nothing he could have said or done could have ever changed that.
Right now, Rob Pelinka's reputation is destroying the Lakers. It's as simple as that. And he has to go. If she, I know that she would have to swallow pride because she's backed him all along. But at some point you have to say, that's enough. We got to cut ties and go forward.
He's doing the right thing, Skip. The rule of thumb is if it's raining and you forgot your umbrella don't run through the rain, Skip, because you're going to get wet regardless. But there's a chance you might slip and fall and hurt yourself worse than the rain will make you wet. Rob Pelinka says, you know what? Yeah, it's a deluge, but I'm just going to walk through it. And guess what? In 2 days, 3 days, a week, it'll all blow over and I'll be just fine. I'll be dry on the other side.
I think the next step would be to hear from Kobe, right? The only person that can really save Rob at this point is Kobe. If there was some sort of a meeting, which maybe wasn't...
It wasn't no meeting, the man was dead.
But maybe they met a year before and he kind of flubbed the truth. But something you guys didn't mention, the quote Rob said was that Kobe wanted to know how he mentally went there. So we are talking about a role that ultimately led to Heath taking his own life. So we are using a lie that doesn't even make sense in the context of the situation. I mean, what happened is traumatic. You don't mentally want to know how someone got to that place. It doesn't even make sense.
In hindsight, that's how it would play.
But it would have been after
I'm not
his
sure
death.
the role is exactly why he took his life, but he was known for immersing himself in roles to the point where he lost himself.
Yes.
And he couldn't get himself back out of the role.
And most of the good ones, that's what they do. They immerse themselves and they become that character.
Okay, I got it. And when you watch him tell the story, it sounds good to me. I'm like,
but that's what liars can do. Yeah, Skip, I have to be able to convince you. Because now, if I just say things, he's like, that's a lie. I got to be convincing. And he's telling the story. Oh, Kobe in the dark night, he saw this and he knew that he had to go to a dark place. Kobe wanted to, how did you get there? So I can use that to get into that dark place so I can become the Black Mamba and get us here.
That's true. Yep.
But the man had passed 6 months ago.
It's just, it's sad. It's heavy. It's
and you
sad.
just, Skip, I mean, you gonna tell that lie. You lie on a dead man.
How do you believe him now? How do you,
Well,
honestly?
he got away with it for about a year. I guess.
Somehow.
Well, if you were Rob a blind man, you would definitely lie on a dead man.
There you go.
Found that video. Boy, it makes it really real when you hear him lying like that. We're going to move on to